Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Mike Doloff, Chief Revenue Officer, Inflow Communications. I have with me my esteemed colleague, Chris Riccio. Chris, say hello and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Chris Ruiz here.
Really excited to be talking with Chris. We're talking on a series about bots in the contact center. Today we're going to talk about the history. I'm a history person, so I love this kind of stuff. We're going to make this short and bite-sized, and again, part of a series, so tune in for other ones. Chris, let's jump right into this. I'm going to ask you questions. I want to hear your rapid answer. So what's the general perception you see with companies and how they perceive bots?
Well, depending on the nature of the company and the maturity of the company, most of the time I hear, no, we don't want to do that. It's too robotic. It's frustrating to my customer. And that's really not the case nowadays, but that's usually the number one rebuttal.
Yep. Things have changed, but they're right.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, bots done poorly is a bad look, right? So, yep. Great. Second question, what usually drives the need for bots in organizations?
Well, some companies are more progressive. So they're always looking for the next flavor. But honestly, when you think about contact center and where we are in contact center, growth. Everybody wants growth, but the number one issue in contact center is staffing. So at some point, you're going to hit the crossroads of growth and staffing. You're going to have to give it up to some automated process. And I think bots are a great way to help segue and get you into the next, growth spurt that you're about to experience.
Awesome. Third question, where or how can bots best be put to use in your opinion?
So bots are great. If you think about bots, and I always talk to clients about where in their environment the bots best fit. Thinking about the perceptions and the negative perceptions they may have about early bots because they were cumbersome and robotic, and they kind of landlocked the client. But when you think about bots and where they best fit in high volume, low complexity transactions. Things such as, what's the status of my order? What's my account balance? Can I book an appointment? Things of that nature. And every organization, regardless of what your business is, has high volume, low complexity interactions within their contact center.
Fantastic. Fourth and final question, how have you seen bot technology really mature over the last few years?
Hmm. So this is the interesting thing. There are some bot technologies on the forefront, and there's actually quite a handful of them, quite honestly. But I will say many of the more sophisticated bots are complex, and there's a big spend associated with them. Now, in particular, the bots that I've actually played with and that tend to be on the forefront of being easy to integrate, and they're sort of ubiquitous in the industry, is Amazon. Obviously, Amazon comes up in every single discussion, so you have Amazon Lex. There's also Google, my personal favorite, because it is so nimble, and Google's philosophical approach is let you do it, but they also bring a template base of easy migration paths to help you just get something working. And then ultimately, everyone's going to a cloud sort of mentality. One of my other favorites is Genesis Cloud Bots. How the technology has changed is completely night and day from historical bots in the beginning. First, bots were very cumbersome. They landlocked your customer to the frustration. And I know many people who travel for business have heard the individuals on the phone saying, representative, no, representative, right? Because that was how bots were. They were unable to process elegantly. These days, bots have changed dramatically. They're nimble. They sound like real humans. And depending on which bot you choose to use, it could be a make or break situation in terms of integration and ease of use. My hands down favorite are plug and play bots. Now, as much as the really sophisticated technical people love to know bits and bytes, the average Joe and the average company doesn't always have the resources for that. So finding a bot that is plug and play, and there are bots out there that do that, is absolutely my first go-to because it's usually a low-cost entrant. It gives you something to play with. You can really test the boundaries. Now, what has changed, to get to your specific question, bots traditionally require heavy emphasis on SDKs, web services integration, having to stand up other web services stack to do the transaction or at least exchanging information. For example, if I'm booking an appointment, I need to talk to an appointment system to capture that information and feed it to somebody. So that has actually changed. There are still plenty of opportunities and solutions out there that still have that framework at great expense. And when you think about the contact center, Every time you need to make a change shouldn't cost $25,000. We need to get to a plug and play mentality. We're in the 21st century. It's out there. Go find it. Um, One of the products that I appreciate, as I said before, was Google. Google's approach comes together with a framework that is easy plug and play. Now, that being said, you still have to do a web services integration. With Genesis Cloud in particular, they have already leveraged resources contained within their contact center to make it a more elegant experience. And so adding on to how bots have matured, I think Genesis is leading the forefront in terms of contact center. You can point and click to your IVR, and think about your IVR. If you're already doing appointments by touch tone, your bot can use that same infrastructure. I've recently got my hands on it. I'm super excited about it, so I'm sure I'll have more at a later session to talk about.
That's great. I think in a nutshell, I think of the changes. It used to be complex and expensive and difficult just to even like get a bot working in an environment for the contact center, to now where you have more plug and play, like you said, capabilities. And now someone can spend their time on what I call the fine tuning side of this, right? What are the specific words and interactions that, as we tune this bot to make sure it's helpful, it's not a hindrance to customers, it's really helping them, it's achieving what we want it to be. You can spend your time there, analyzing it, initial interactions, testing, fine tuning, tweaking it. And that's where an organization needs to afford to spend some time versus just trying to get the darn thing set up, right?
Yeah, and
Great.
that's the one thing I'll comment is that lose the thought process that bots is something you just configure once and it's gone. You want to be hands-on. And so find a product that is easy to digest. It doesn't require a technical person. I can just type dialogue, but I can also import dialogue. And I have a way to configure fallout. In other words, if I run into 2 errors, automatically go to an agent. And when you go to an agent, and this is a critical piece, take the dialogue with you so the representative knows what's been discussed with the bot ahead of time. And a lot of the bots out there have a very problematic time getting into that substructure. So those are great points, Mike.
Yep, love it. I've been on plenty of bot experiences where I've done a bunch of stuff back and forth. It's great. I'm sort of getting triaged. They're figuring out where to guide me. Then they guide me to an agent, and the agent has no context. It's not great. Awesome, Chris. Thanks for talking. This is the first of many talking about the history of bots in the contact center to provide some context. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Check out more in the series, and have a great day.